come to all the other classes. I only missed one, I think.
Hmm.
I was not well. But
All right. We'll start with the peace chant.
yeah.
Hmm. Let's do it. Om Bhadram Karnevhi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashye Maksha Viryajatraha Sthirairanga Istuštuvag Sastanuvihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Shastina Indro Pridhashravaha Shastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Shasti Nastark Sho Arishtanemihi Shasti no Brihaspatir Dadhatu Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. So we have been studying verse number 2.2.7 of Mundaka Upanishad. It's a long mantra. So in our last class, we discussed only the first part of the mantra. And it's a very important mantra. Mantra is, so we have seen up to this much, the first paragraph. Saha sarvajñaḥ sarvavid asya mahimā bhuvi divye brahmapure hi eṣaḥ vyomni ātmā pratiṣṭhitaḥ. Do you recall the meaning of this part? But essentially what this part of the mantra is telling us? Do you remember? Try.
Maharaj,
Hmm.
Atma, sarvajñaḥ, knows everything, and he resides in the physical world and the internal, the divine realm also. So he knows everything. I mean, that Brahman all pervading, and Brahman in each and everything is Brahman. So Vishesh, the Roop and the as a whole thing is Brahman generally. So Atman resides that way in us. And we should concentrate on Om, the symbol of Brahman, the hṛdayam pur, like that is the seat of Brahman.
Brahmapure.
Brahmapure.
Do you remember the meaning of the word Brahmapure? What's that?
Pur is place. Pur is place, and the Brahma resides in that place.
Okay. Any other answer?
Well, you discussed it with some detail last time about Shankaracharya's interpretation.
Yes.
About the lotus of the heart. That Brahmapure is the lotus of the heart.
Yeah.
And you said it's the lotus of the heart because when you have deep contemplative, meditative experiences, that's where you feel it. You feel it in the sacred space of the heart.
Right.
And the other connection you made is that not only does Shankaracharya say that, you also made the connection with Kundalini Yoga about Anahata Chakra. That's also the heart center. And you made the point that even though in Kundalini, the emphasis, the final objective is not the heart center, but is the head center, did you call it? Or top of the mind, top of the head?
Yeah.
Here and here and here.
Yes. So you discussed in some detail these different connotations of brahmapure.
Yeah, right. And what is the literal meaning of the word brahmapure?
City of Brahman.
City
right?
of Brahman.
Yeah, exactly. City of Brahman. So here, city of Brahman means where Brahman resides. Where Brahman reside? At the heart, right? Shankaracharya says at the hṛdaya pundarike, at the lotus of the heart. That the question was, Brahman is everywhere, then why it is being mentioned that Brahman reside at the heart? And what was the answer for that? Brahman is everywhere, but why it is being said that Brahman resides?
Because it's realized in the heart.
Yes, it is realized in the heart. In the heart means here a spiritual center, right? A spiritual heart, not the physical heart. This spiritual heart has been variously been named as lotus of the heart, then akasha, space, vyomni. This mantra said vyomni, vyomni, and divye, sacred space. A sacred space in the spiritual heart is where Brahman is established. There, that is the place to meet Brahman. So as it happens in most of the cases, if we study the life of illumined people, first they realize that reality inside in the heart, and then they experience the reality everywhere, outside also. It starts with inside, but outside also. But for rare some souls, we find they have this experience, Brahman is everywhere first. Later on, they have the experience internally in their heart. And they say that one has to have both the experiences. Both experiences, according to non-dual Vedanta, only realizing Brahman in the heart is half of the thing, equation. Second equation, logically and naturally, it should follow that immanence of Brahman, presence everywhere. Everywhere also has to be felt. But the contact point between Brahman and Atman is, if we are allowed to say, is the heart. Swami Vivekananda said, if I remember correctly, that God, soul, is a circle whose circumference is everywhere, and the center is at the heart. That is soul. And who is God? God is whose center is everywhere and circumference nowhere. Circumference is nowhere. So that is another way of looking at it. In this mantra, Brahman, Atman, is being said to reside in the sacred space of the heart. Reside in the sense that realization, spiritual realization happens in the spiritual heart center. Spiritual heart center. All right. Now, the second part of the mantra. wonderful part. Second part is also very nice. Second part says, manomayaḥ prāṇa-śarīra-netā pratiṣṭhitaḥ anne hṛdayam sannidhāya tad vijñānena paripaśyanti dhīrāḥ ānanda-rūpam amṛtam yat vibhāti. The meaning is, conditioned by the mind, the Atman is the leader of the life force and the body. Although present in the body, which is sustained by food, the Atman is truly established in the heart. The wise, through knowledge gained by deep spiritual practices, perceive this Atman, which shines as the essence of bliss and immortality. So much has been said in this one particular mantra. So we shall break it down and see part by part. So up to this part we have seen that Atma is, or Brahman is sarvavid. It knows everything in detail as well as the cause, the reason why everything is happening, and it reveals itself at the sacred space of the heart. Then, intriguingly, the mantra says this Atma is manomayaḥ. Manomayaḥ. Mana means mind. And maya is in Sanskrit, maya is a pratyaya. It's a suffix which means abundance. So manomayaḥ is where mind is in abundance. So literally, this means Atma is full of mind. Atma is full of mind. So what do you think about this idea? Atma is full of mind. Why Upanishad is telling suddenly Atma is full of mind?
It manifests as the mind.
Manifest as mind.
Brahman manifests as mind.
Brahman manifest as mind, of course, that is true. Then why full of mind then?
I think maybe it has to do with our needing to use the mind as an instrument.
Yes, mind as an instrument to realize Atman. So manomayaḥ here means mind is soaked with consciousness. It's like mind itself is soaked in the syrup of consciousness. Just imagine rasgulla, okay? Rasagulla. Yeah, all of you know rasgulla, I hope. All of you know rasgulla, the sweet. Okay, so rasgulla, the cheese ball itself is not sweet, but the syrup, sweet syrup, makes it sweet. Similarly, mind appears to be sentient, but it appears sentient because of presence of the consciousness, Atma. That is why mind appears to be the most sentient thing in the whole of creation. Ultimately, mind is also matter, subtle matter. Remember that? Mind is also subtle matter, but it appears to be sentient because of presence of Atma. So, paradoxically, it is being said manomayaḥ. That is, the presence of mind. I understand that you have a mind. That mind is live, alive, sentient, and because Atma is present. So Atma is being called manomayaḥ. That is, it has pervaded the whole mind. So here, maya, the word maya usually means abundance. But here, maya has been used in the sense of pervaded. So Atma is pervading the mind. Atma pervades everything, right? So also it pervades the mind. So manomaya. This is more than a metaphysical point. More importantly, this is an idea which helps in meditation. It's a meditation tool. Sometimes, if you try, you will find very interesting. If we think that our mind is soaked in consciousness, our whole being is soaked in divine consciousness. It's a wonderful meditation. That is, you are meditating on yourself, not anyone else, but with the idea that my whole being is soaked in divine consciousness. And this divine consciousness, one can even bring in one's own chosen ideal. For example, I am sitting here trying to meditate. So my whole being is soaked with the consciousness of Jesus Christ, consciousness with Sri Ramakrishna, consciousness of Sri Krishna. That also is a wonderful meditation. Manomayaḥ, mind soaked in the syrup of consciousness. Remember this point. Mind soaked in the syrup of consciousness. So, Atma, manomayaḥ. Manomaya is not manomaya kosha. In Vedanta, there is the idea of kosha, sheaths, layers. Our personality has been conceived as made of 5 layers, sheaths. What are the sheaths? Annamaya, which means the physical body, right?
Yeah.
Anna means food. So physical body is body made of food, right? Then
And the pranamaya.
After Annamaya will
Manomayaḥ.
Manomayaḥ. Manomayaḥ, right. Manomayaḥ means mind. Our personality, our identity, that dimension. Which dimension? The mind dimension. Manomaya kosha. Then going
Pranamaya.
Pranamaya, which is the energy, right?
Yeah.
The internal energy. Then
Vijñānamaya.
Vijñānamaya. What is the function of Vijñānamaya?
Intellect. Intellect.
Yes. Vijñānamaya kosha is the domain of intellect. How intellect is different from mind? What is the difference between buddhi, intellect, and mana, mind?
One is indecisive and the other is decisive.
Yes, mind is indecisive. Mind is thinking this way or that way.
Discrimination. Yeah.
Discernment, yeah. Mind is thinking about sankalpa, vikalpa. Should I go this way or should I go that way? Should I eat rice today or pasta? Should I switch on the light or not? This type of thoughts, this type of functions is done by mind. Sankalpa ātmak, vikalpa ātmak manaha. And nishchayātmika buddhi. When I decide, no, I have to do this, and I was vacillating, now I am convinced, that is buddhi. That dimension of our personality is called vijñānamaya kosha. And the innermost kosha is what?
Anandamaya.
Ānandamaya, which is felt,
Heat
which
of
is active.
bliss.
Right.
Heat of bliss.
Sheath of bliss. And when it is functioning?
Enough.
Deep sleep.
What? Arundhati, what?
Deep sleep.
Deep sleep, right. Sushupti. Sushupti, when we are so much in bliss, but we are not knowing even that bliss. That is Anandamaya Kosha. So here the word Manomaya has been used not in the sense of Manomaya Kosha. Okay. Because we are so much used to these terminologies whenever we hear Manomaya. So literally it will mean that Atma is Manomaya. Not in that sense. Atma is Panchakosha Vilakshana. Atma is not tied to any of these layers or sheaths. Atma is present everywhere, but Atma is none of them. So here Manomaya has been used in a completely different sense, meaning mind is soaked in the consciousness, soaked in the light of consciousness. So what does it mean? It has also an implied meaning. Implied meaning is this: mind, the more purer the mind will be, the better it will reflect the consciousness. Reflect the consciousness. Think of the Rasgulla analogy. So one Rasgulla, another Rasgulla, all are soaked in the same syrup, sweet syrup, but we say this Rasgulla is better than that Rasgulla. So what makes the difference? The cheese ball. Cheese ball is the difference. So one of these cheese balls are reflecting or expressing the sweetness better than the other. Kind of a rough analogy. It's not a complete analogy, approximate. In the same way, although each mind is monomaya, all of us, all of our mind is soaked in consciousness, but the difference between our purities of mind is what decides how much divine consciousness we reflect through our mind. So if we say someone is spiritually advanced, what do we really mean? Divine consciousness is same in everybody. The difference is only the quality of the mind, quality of the mirror. Because it is the same mind is soaked in consciousness for all, but the quality of the mind, purity of the mind, that decides how much of that consciousness is being manifested, expressed, or reflected through the mind. So this term manomaya, a simple word, has so much of meaning. One is metaphysical meaning, that mind itself is an expression of Atma. Second, it's also a good reminder when we are meditating that the mind, the problematic mind, the distracted mind is also soaked in consciousness. If we can meditate on this part, that our inner being or internal world is also soaked in consciousness. This is a very potent type of meditation. In fact, we can even imagine that mind is so much soaked in consciousness that all the properties of consciousness is now I am feeling within. The joy. Or sometimes I think like that I am soaked in consciousness, and this consciousness is like a liquid, a fluid, which has enveloped me. Enveloped me means it is my inner being, my internal world is soaked with this fluid, wet with this fluid called consciousness, divine consciousness. So we can apply our imagination, power of imagination, to expand this idea that mind is soaked in consciousness. All right. The second idea, prāṇa-śarīra-netā. This Atma is the leader of prāṇa-śarīra. Prana is energy and Sharira is body. So here what prāṇa-śarīra means subtle body, Sukshma Sharira. Netā means leader. That is, the idea is when we die, our subtle body does not die. Subtle body moves from one body to another body. So that subtle body that moves from one body to another body, who is behind? If subtle body is the car that is moving from one place to another, who is the driver? Atma is the driver. That is why netā. Netā means one who leads. One who leads. Leads whom? The prāṇa-śarīra, that is subtle body. So it means that the subtle body gains its sentience from the presence of Atma. And this subtle body, which appears to be sentient, transfers its sentience to physical body. We say that I am alive, that person is dead. That person is dead means what? The subtle body has left. Subtle body has left, so that means Atma is also not, the physical body is not blessed by the Atma, is not being powered by Atma anymore. So Atma gives sentience to subtle body gives sentience to our physical body. When subtle body leaves, physical body also appears dead, no sentience. But behind even the subtle body's sentience, apparent sentience, is who is responsible for that? Who is responsible for that? Atma. So it is being called prāṇa-śarīra-netā. It's the driver of the subtle body. It's a driver of the energy. It's a driver of the mind, driver of all the subtle sense organs and all of this. This idea that Atma is the driver of the subtle body, does it ring any bell?
Chariot. Analogy of chariot in Upanishad.
Chariot. Chariot. Any other Upanishad we have studied?
Yes, what is that behind, what is behind that which we know and do and act?
Upanishad. Upanishad.
Kenu Upanishad. Kenu nishitam manaha. Kenu preshitam prāṇaha. Who is the driver behind? Mind. Who drives the vital energies? Who drives the sense organs? That is the first question of Kena Upanishad. Kena Upanishad. And the teacher answers that the thing that drives all of this is beyond description. Beyond description. It is eye of the eyes, ear of the ear, mind of the mind. It is present everywhere in that. So same idea, prāṇa-śarīra-netā. This verse is all about the description or pointers about Atma. Then pratiṣṭhitaḥ anne. Pratiṣṭhitaḥ anne literally means it resides in food. In food. Atma resides in food. But here, anna, food, is not food. What does it mean?
Manifested form. In the
Annamaya kosha.
In the body.
Body.
So it is established in body. But then the question will be, it resides in the physical body. It resides in the physical body. Then next phrase we have to take consideration of. What is that? Hṛdayam sannidhāya. It is residing in the physical body, but where? In the spiritual heart. So our body is made of food. Our growth and decay depends upon the nourishment we provide, but Atma is not tied to the body in a physical sense. It is seated in the heart, where intellect resides and remains unchanged and unaffected by body's condition. That is the meaning of the phrase pratiṣṭhitaḥ anne hṛdayam sannidhāya. So it can be found in the body, where? In the spiritual heart. In the spiritual heart. Now, in this connection, it's interesting something I would like to tell. Just it occurred to me. Shankaracharya wrote Brahma Sutra, right? Vyasa wrote Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra is also called Śarīraka Sutra. Śarīraka Sutra. You know why? Brahma Sutra, written by Vyasa, is the one of the three pillars of non-dual Vedanta. It is also called Śarīraka Sutra. Does anybody know why it is called Śarīraka Sutra? Sharira means body, physical body. So this Śarīraka means related to body. So the idea is, although you are talking about Brahma and its all-pervasiveness, but we are embodied being. We have a body, Sharira. Okay. So we have to realize this all-pervasive reality, being embodied in this Sharira, in this physical body alone. We have to, while living in this body, we have to realize Brahma. That is why Brahma Sutra is also called Sharirika Sutra. So this, this idea is related to this verse, that it is Anne Pratishtitam hṛdaya sannidhāya. This Atma is, we as embodied being, Atma, we have to find deep within, inside this body. Okay, in this body. Although Atma is not the body, but we have to realize it within us, within this living body, that is being embodied in this body. We have to realize Atma. Where? In our spiritual heart. Then paripaśyanti dhīrāḥ ānanda-rūpam amṛtam yat vibhāti. Dhīrāḥ means the wise. The wise one. Does anybody know literal meaning of the word dhīrāḥ?
Slow and composed.
Calm. The calm ones.
Calm.
The calm ones. So, what makes someone calm? According to non-dual Vedanta, those who are realized one. The wise ones become calm because of this realization. So, dhīrāḥ paripaśyanti. They paripaśyanti. They perceive the Atman fully, especially everywhere. How? ānanda-rūpam amṛtam, as bliss and immortality. Moreover, vibhāti, shining. That is, the dhīrāḥ realize this Atma present everywhere. Paripaśyanti, everywhere. How? As bliss and immortality, like shining. Okay, not only present in a dull way, it's not presence in a dull way, but it's a shining presence. The wise perceive the presence of this spiritual reality as bliss and immortality everywhere. What is the secret? What is the secret of their realization? Tat vijñānena, through vijñāna. Through vijñāna. So here, vijñāna has a connotation. We have heard of the word jnana, knowledge. Here Upanishad says vijñāna. So can you guess the difference between jnana and vijñāna?
Knowledge and wisdom.
Knowledge and wisdom. Okay, it's general. More specific? Can you be more specific?
Vijnana means actually experiencing the reality.
Right. Thank you. So, and this experience has a name. What is the name of this experience?
Atma-gyan.
Atma-jnana. Arundhati?
Knowing the self.
Has a name. There is a book by its name, which we have studied at the very
Aparaksha-anubhuti.
Aparaksha-anubhuti.
Anubhuti.
Aparaksha-anubhuti means vijñāna. Jnana means having an intellectual conviction about something or intellectual knowledge. Vijñāna means realizing this. Sri Ramakrishna also says that, someone has heard about milk, but someone has drank milk, have tasted milk. That is the difference between jnana and vijñāna. And Shankaracharya makes this point very clear. Shankaracharya says, remarkably, Shankaracharya says, true knowledge arises. True knowledge, this vijñāna is true knowledge. The true knowledge arises not just from intellectual learning, but from a disciplined life. This includes instruction from the teacher and the Upanishad, control of the mind and senses, meditation, and letting go of inessential things. Shastra, acharya, upadesho janiteno, jnaneno, shama, dama, dhyana, sarvatyaga, vaidagya, adbhuteneno. So, the dhīrāḥ, the wise, realize this Atman where? In their heart. As realize their heart in the lotus of their heart, in the sacred space of their heart, and they also perceives this reality as shining like bliss and immortality. And how did they got this experience, this wisdom? Vijñāna. What is vijñāna? Vijñāna means shastra, acharya, upadesha, janiteno, shama, dama, dhyana, jnanena. So, this not only the intellectual knowledge, but practice. In one word, through practice, one has the aparaksha anubhuti, the direct, transcendental knowledge of that reality. That is vijñāna. They paripaśyanti dhīrāḥ. With this vijñāna, the dhīrāḥ, the wise one, realize that ātmā. So, if we put everything together, the path to realizing the Atman, how the Atman, though omnipresent and all-knowing, can be realized through superior knowledge or paravidya. This knowledge is not just academic or intellectual, but arises from intense spiritual practice. That is, controlling the mind and meditating on Atma and turning away from non-essential things. And the Atman is where? Right there in the heart, shining as pure bliss and immortality, inside as well as outside. For the wise, the Atman is not just a philosophical concept, but it's a living reality, which is governing the entire universe. So much have been packed in this mantra, 2.2.7. Do you have any question?
So Maharaj, Atman is everywhere. So when the body dies, since it is everywhere, it is there in the body too, but it's just not manifesting.
Exactly. The appliance is missing. The current is there, but the appliance is missing. So we are not able to perceive the electricity. We can think of this way.
So it reminds me of Thakur's Dhyana Mantra, Maharaj.
What is that?
First, hṛdaya kamala madhye.
Hṛdaya kamala madhye rajitam nirvikalpam. So, Sri Ramakrishna's meditation mantra. When we worship Sri Ramakrishna, okay. In the first, when we do Sri Ramakrishna's puja, we have for every puja, for every deity, we start with a dhyana mantra, meditation mantra, to orient our mind towards the deity. And Sri Ramakrishna's dhyana mantra was composed by Ishadhyanananda, one of the very illumined Swamis. He starts with like this: hṛdaya kamala madhye rajitam nirvikalpam. So hṛdaya kamala, in the lotus of the heart, resides. Rajita means not residing, it's like one who is ruling. Ruling where? In the lotus heart. And what is the nature of that reality? Nirvikalpam. That is one who cannot be expressed through words, and one who is steady. Vikalpa. One does not have any vikalpa. Steady all the time. Permanently sitting in the lotus sad. Sad asad vedatitam. One who is beyond sat and asat. One who is beyond real and unreal. That is sat asat. This type of differences can be applied to our empirical things, whether it is real or unreal. But someone who is beyond, whether it is sat or asat, this type of differences cannot be applied to divine beings or the divine presence. So thus the mantra goes, but starts with the line hṛdaya kamala madhye rajitam. That is, the idea is here, when we are doing puja to Sri Ramakrishna, it is not a person, it's a reality, it's a truth, it's a metaphysical reality, whom we are worshipping as Sri Ramakrishna. That is the idea. Okay, Victoria asks the question, in the first part of the verse, can you talk more about the glory? The glory, bhuvi. Shankaracharya says, no one has much explained about the glory of Atman. Shankaracharya has said, the glory of Atman is this, that through Atman alone, everything is tied together because of the presence of Atman. Just in the previous verse, it was said that this Atman is not only the unifier of external world, but also the unifier of internal world. Shankaracharya says this is no less a glorious thing. What can be more glorious than a reality which unites everything, which is at the root of everything? And Shankaracharya also adds, even the flow of time, even the time and space is belongs or reside in this Atman. That is, space, time, all of these exist because of the substratum, Atma, the ground of our being. Such is the nature of Atman. So this is a glorious. That is its glory. That's its glory. It's an eulogy, or it's a praise for the reality which we are studying. Glory. That is the glory. Do you have any other idea about glory, Victoria?
Yes.
What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of some Bible verses. One Bible verse that I really connect with is when St. Paul says, Christ in me, the hope of glory. And so for what I would revise that for a person who has had direct experience to say, Christ in me, glory, because glory seems to me to be the all-encompassing impression, although we don't have impressions when we're in that state, the all-encompassing isness of the reality of the love and the peace, the contentment, the joy, the shining effulgence, and the unity, I think.
Oh, okay. So that's the glory. You mean that is
to me, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Because the interpretation that I gave was Shankaracharya's interpretation. The Upanishad itself does not say what the glory, but such is the glory of Atma, or that reality, we can, all of us can freely add our interpretation. Everything will be the glory of Atma, right?
Yes, and it's a wondrous, jaw-dropping, unbelievable, amazing, life-changing, realization. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. In that sense, glory. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The next verse is wonderful. It's the culmination of realization. What happens after realization? 3 results or 3 promises of realization. We shall take that up in our next class. Okay. All the next verse 2.2.8, not today.
So, regarding the glory, Maharaj, I would, to me, it also would mean that this whole entire universe, the manifestation itself, is the glory of the Atman.
Yeah. That is such a wonderful, such a wonderful universe, right? Universe itself is such a glorious thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the manifestation of that reality itself is such a glorious and jaw-dropping, amazing,
awe-inspiring.
Awe-inspiring, right? Awe-inspiring, right? Awe-inspiring.
It also seems like the verse is actually speaking to it that way, that particular way that she just described. That the beginning of the verse is actually pointing to that aspect of glory, the manifested world.
Yeah, asya mahimā. What was the first part?
And to who belongs all the glory in the world.
Sa sarvajñaḥ sarvavid asya mahimā bhuvi divye. Yeah. Yes, in this, yeah, exactly. Its glory is everywhere, right? Glory is everywhere. Subhash, you have raised your hand.
Yeah. Maharaj, the bhuvi, I'm reading the Lokeshwarananda's translation, and he translates bhuvi as in this world. Is that a literal meaning? Bhuvi is in this world.
Bhuvi divye.
Mahimā is the glory.
Mahimā is the glory.
Mahimā.
Mahimā is the glory, yeah.
And the earlier, the Ramakrishna Dhyana Mantra, Maharaj, the hṛdaya Kamalamante, that one, does that go in? It basically describes the three different levels: transcendental, the immanent, and then the physical form that we see. It's very, very interesting, but very nice.
Right. All right. So today, let's do meditation. We have not done meditation. We'll do today the Om meditation. We have time. So we shall close the